Before this video disappears forever, make sure you watch it until the very end. Your understanding of reality might never be the same. What if the world you live in is an illusion carefully crafted to keep you powerless and unaware? Long before modern science, ancient mystics and sages uncovered truths about the universe so powerful, they threatened the very foundations of control. These cosmic secrets were buried hidden by those in power, because if humanity truly understood the electromagnetic forces shaping our reality, the systems of control would collapse overnight. This video reveals how to tap into that same energy, how to reprogram the fabric of your life using knowledge once reserved for the elite. And those who've embraced it, they're experiencing a transformation so real, it defies belief. So why was it hidden from you? Because once you awaken to your true power, no one can control you again. Stay until the end to uncover what they tried to erase. And if you're ready to reclaim your power, don't forget to subscribe. More truths are waiting. Think of ancient Egypt, Greece, and Persia not just as majestic empires, but as hidden gateways to secret knowledge. Beneath their grand temples and myths were mystery schools, where select initiates were taught truths that could transform their perception of reality, mind, and consciousness itself. In ancient Egypt, the mystery schools of Heliopolis and Memphis believed life wasn't just physical, it was a mental construct shaped by energy, thought, and intention. The Egyptian Book of the Dead was more than a guide to the afterlife. It taught how to control awareness and influence the journey beyond death. Those chosen to be initiated learned how to master their inner world to shape the outer one. In Greece, the Eleusinian mysteries gave participants life-changing visions that dissolved the fear of death and revealed the hidden workings of the universe. Even Plato, one of the greatest minds in history, was exposed to these teachings, but chose to guard their secrets, knowing they could collapse the illusion of the material world and expose the mind as the true architect of reality. These aren't just ancient fables. Even in recent times, texts like the Book of Enoch, which speaks of celestial beings and higher dimensions, were excluded from religious canons because their contents were seen as too powerful for the masses. At the heart of all this wisdom lies one radical truth: reality is not fixed. It bends and shifts in response to your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions. The ancients knew this, and they passed down secret rituals and teachings for those ready to awaken. The Kabbalion, a mysterious Hermetic text, outlines 7 universal laws. Foremost among them is the principle of mentalism: all is mind. Everything you see, feel, and experience begins in your consciousness. Your mind is not just observing reality, it's creating it. If you can master your mind, you can reshape your world. This truth was hidden for centuries until now. So ask yourself, if everything you were taught about reality was a lie, what would you do? The belief that you're powerless and must accept your fate is a myth. You are not a passive observer. You are the architect. And once you remember that the illusion crumbles, give it some thought. At every moment, your thoughts are physically building the environment that is immediately surrounding you. The same power that is responsible for the formation of stars, galaxies, and mountains is contained within your mind. It is not merely a spiritual concept. Rather, it is being validated by the most advanced scientific research. In the field of quantum physics, the double-slit experiment demonstrated that the behavior of light particles changes depending on how they are perceived. This indicates that your consciousness does not merely observe reality, rather it actively participates in shaping it. One of the most fascinating discoveries in quantum physics is the observer effect, the idea that particles exist in a state of pure potential until they are observed. In other words, reality doesn't fully form until your consciousness interacts with it. At its core, the universe is waiting for you to choose what it will become. What modern science is just beginning to understand is something ancient mystics knew long ago. Reality is a mental construct. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions aren't just fleeting ideas, they are the raw tools with which you shape your life. So what does this mean for you? It means your mind is not a passive witness. It's a powerful force actively sculpting your experience in every moment. Every belief you hold, every feeling you nurture, sends ripples through the fabric of the cosmos. You may feel small in this vast, infinite universe, but that feeling is an illusion. The deeper truth is far more astonishing. You are not just in the universe is in you. The forces that govern galaxies are mirrored within your very being. Everything you see outside is a reflection of what lives inside. Your life is not random. It's a mirror of your consciousness. This isn't just a spiritual idea, it's a universal principle echoed in ancient teachings and now affirmed by science. The Hermetic principle of correspondence, summed up in the phrase, "as above, so below," isn't just poetic, it's a cosmic law. What happens on the grand scale of stars and galaxies is reflected in the microcosm of your body, your mind, your choices. Just consider this: the spiraling arms of galaxies follow the same pattern as a seashell. The same geometry, the same divine blueprint appearing everywhere from the stars to your cells. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is connected, and you are a vital part of that infinite pattern. The question is, are you ready to consciously shape it? The patterns you see in tree branches, river systems, and even your lungs all share something profound. They are fractals, self-repeating designs woven into every layer of existence. These patterns aren't random. They reveal a hidden order, a sacred geometry that connects everything from the smallest cell to the largest galaxy. The same principles that guide the stars also guide your life. And this is where everything begins to shift. Just as galaxies spiral and stars orbit, your thoughts and actions send waves through the universe. This is the Hermetic principle of correspondence: as above, so below. Your mind is not separate from the cosmos, it mirrors it. It's a living reflection of the intelligence that permeates all things. You are a microcosm of the universe itself, and within you lies the same infinite potential that moves the heavens. Pause for a moment and let that truth sink in. While cosmic forces shape galaxies, your thoughts shape your reality. Your intentions, your beliefs, these are not fleeting. They are powerful currents of creative energy aligned with the very force we call divine. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are deeply connected to the universal energy that creates worlds. So what does this mean for your life? When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with universal principles, you plug into an infinite power source. The same forces that move planets can help you transform your health, wealth, and relationships. Once you understand this, you're no longer at the mercy of your circumstances. You stop reacting and start creating. Life begins to flow through you, not against you, with the same ease that moves the stars. Want to attract more abundance? Look to nature. Trees don't hoard their fruit, they give freely. And in return, they thrive. The universe rewards generosity with overflow. When you begin to give from the heart, you'll see how naturally abundance finds its way back to you. But this connection runs even deeper. Everything is linked. Even the smallest action sends ripples across the web of existence. Every time you choose healing, kindness, or growth within yourself, that energy extends outward, quietly transforming the world around you. You are not separate from the universe. You are a vital part of its unfolding. Beyond what you are aware of, you own a great deal more power and responsibility. These historic teachings are starting to be validated by contemporary scientific research. Because of the discovery of quantum entanglement, it is now known that particles once attached to one another are able to instantly influence one another over huge distances. This is the modern counterpart of the Hermetic teaching that everything in the universe is connected to everything else in the whole wide world. That which occurs to one has an effect on everyone. You will be able to make changes to your life if you adopt this principle and put it into practice. In this situation, you are not merely a bystander. In truth, you are a co-creator of the world. All of your thoughts, beliefs, and deeds are divine occurrences that shape the very fabric of life itself. The true question is whether or not you are prepared to make use of this power. It is already common knowledge that you are a divine creator. Nevertheless, what if I were to tell you that the key to conquering your destiny lay in a single truth that cannot be refuted? There is a particular frequency at which everything in the universe, including any and all thoughts and feelings, resonates. This information is not merely mystical in nature. You will be able to have an incredible level of control over your life if you have this. Over the course of the next few minutes, you are going to get precise instructions on how to access it. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you to the Hermetic principle of vibration, a global law that elucidates the true nature of reality, a truth that will blow your head. In the universe, there is never a moment of stillness. Each and everything from the tiniest particle to your most profound ideas is perpetually in motion, and vibrating at its own particular frequency. Consider this for a moment. Think of your thoughts as energy waves that are vibrating through reality itself. They are not only ideas that exist in the abstract. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Nevertheless, the scientific community is at last catching up to what the ancients already knew. The results of recent research indicate that our brains emit frequencies that may be measured based on the condition of our minds. Having a peaceful and concentrated state causes your brain to produce alpha waves, which are associated with feelings of creativity and tranquility. Beta waves, which are associated with high levels of productivity or anxiety, are activated in your brain when you are either anxious or concentrated. Nevertheless, this is where things become even more intense. Equally, your feelings are vibrating. Is there ever a time when you were in the presence of someone who exudes such a high level of positivity that you could actually feel your mood improving? This is due to the fact that higher emotions such as love, joy, and gratitude resonate at higher frequencies, so physically elevating the energy of everyone in their immediate vicinity. The opposite is also true. Feelings such as fear, rage, or despair have the ability to bring the vibration of the entire room down. Your mental state is a force that has the ability to either raise or drag down not only you, but also the entire environment in which you find yourself. This comprehension is the only source of power. In other words, you have the ability to consciously elevate your frequency and alter the world you experience. Imagine that you are listening to a radio. Through the process of tuning into higher frequencies, you align yourself with the flow of the universe, which allows you to attract anything that you desire. To have success, love, health, and abundance. How exactly does one go about elevating their vibration and releasing this latent potential? Let us get down to business. Step 1. It is gratitude. This is not merely a practice that leaves one feeling good. Rather, it is a vibrational game changer. Take a moment to reflect on 3 things for which you are sincerely thankful right now. Recognize the change. The simple act of expressing gratitude results in an immediate elevation of your vibratory state, which brings you into alignment with more favorable outcomes and experiences. Step 2. The use of emotion and visualization. Would you like to bring about a particular thing? The trick is as follows. Instead of merely visualizing it happening, try to feel it. Imagine that you have already accomplished that objective by closing your eyes. Feel the delight, excitement, and thankfulness as if it were already yours. Take this moment to fully experience it. It is not a case of daydreaming. Tuning your frequency to correspond with the world you desire is what it means. These emotional vibrations are received by the cosmos, which then responds by sending more of what you are broadcasting the universe. Third, proceed. Be conscious of your feelings. Ever noticed how one negative thought can cause your entire day to spiral out of control? So here's why. Every thought and feeling is a vibratory signal that is sent out into the world. By maintaining a positive emotional state, such as through feelings of joy, love, and excitement, you will be able to attract more events that have a high vibration. You attract more negativity into your life when you allow yourself to wallow in dread or doubt. Let's not try to twist the truth. This is not merely time-honored knowledge. This is supported by quantum physics. According to the observer effect, the very act of concentrating on something causes a change in the behavior of that item. To put it another way, your consciousness or vibration has a direct impact on the fundamental aspects of reality. The holy secret is revealed here. Similar things tend to attract one another. The reality that you bring back into your life is determined by the frequency that you send out. Maintaining a high vibratory state will turn you into a magnet for success, health, love, and everything else you want to attract into your life. Take a moment to ask yourself, right now, what are you broadcasting to the public? You are prepared to begin giving out the appropriate signals, are you? As soon as you have achieved mastery of your vibration, you will be able to exert control over the very fabric of your reality. Moreover, the change may occur instantly. Your life is constantly being transformed by the cosmos, which is constantly listening to you and adjusting your frequency to align with what you desire. Having gained an understanding of the power of vibration, what would you say if I told you that all you know about duality, good and evil, light and dark, is not only insufficient, but also intentionally misleading? What would happen if I were to reveal that these polar opposites are in fact the same force that manifests itself in varying degrees of intensity? One of the most important aspects of hacking reality is your ability to exert control over this dynamic. It is the Hermetic concept of polarity, an ancient philosophy that dismantles our understanding of opposites and flips everything we know about manifestation on its head, that is the source of this concealed reality. Put everything you've been taught out of your mind. There is no conflict between good and evil in combat. Both of them are manifestations of the same power. Neither light nor darkness are inherently antagonistic forces. There is a range of degrees that correspond to the same frequency. This information will also provide you with a dangerous level of influence over the world that you experience. Why don't we go into the true significance of this? It is most possible that you have been conditioned to think in extremes such as love or hate success or failure fear or determination. If I were to tell you that love and hate are not polar opposites, what would you say? On the same energy spectrum, they are essentially different intensities of the same spectrum. It is both hot and cool. They do not constitute separate forces. As far as temperature is concerned, they are really varying degrees of vibration. This certainly is not a metaphor. Literally, it is. Once you have mastered the ability to exercise control over the extent to which you stretch the boundaries of the spectrum, you will be able to change any unfavorable circumstance into its positive equivalent. Here is a frightening example of how this truth might be used. Every feeling, whether it is happiness, fear, or wrath, is the same energy. The only difference is that it vibrates at different frequencies. That feeling of apprehension that you have before making a decision that will change your life. A lower frequency is used to describe this energy, which is identical to that of excitement. You have the ability to literally transform fear into courage or grief into pleasure if you learn how to adjust the vibration. It's not merely a matter of psychology. The fabric of your reality is being shifted energetically as a side effect. This is supported by contemporary neuroscience as well as quantum physics. A number of studies have demonstrated that feelings such as happiness, appreciation, and love radiate at very high frequencies. Fear, guilt, and humiliation, on the other hand, vibrate at significantly lower intensities. The frequencies in question have an effect on more than simply your internal state. Your interactions with the world as well as the world's interactions with you are actively altered as a result of their actions. By doing so, polarity control has the potential to not only alter your emotional state, but also the situations that are occurring around you. Let's make it even more understandable. You will learn from the principle of polarity that every single problem you come across contains the seed of its solution within it. Do you struggle financially? It is simply abundance vibrating at a lesser frequency, and that scarcity is just that. Simply by changing your mentality and increasing your frequency, you may transform that very deficit into a chance to amass cash. Relationships that are strained. In reality, the tension that exists between you and another person represents the possibility of a more profound relationship. Once you have learned how to change the polarity, the energy that you believe is ripping you apart can actually become the power that brings you together by bringing you closer together. And when you get to this point, it becomes even more divine. This information has been consistently repressed throughout the course of history. How come? Mainly due to the fact that those in positions of authority were aware of the fact that if the general populace were to learn how to alter their perceptions of reality, the entire power structure of the globe would collapse. From the priesthood of ancient Egypt to members of secret societies, those who should have known better have been using this information for millennia, while the rest of us have been kept in the dark. Exactly what is the motivation behind this suppression? You will no longer see yourself as a pawn in the game of reality if you are able to grasp the ability to switch between polarities. You will eventually become an expert in it. In order to begin learning this secret ability in your own life, here is how to get started. Step 1. Recognize the presence of polarity. Do not fight any extreme emotion, whether it is anger, fear, or sadness. Instead, give in to it. Acknowledge the fact that it is nothing more than energy vibrating at a particular frequency. Instead of trying to escape it, you should realize that this energy may be changed. Step 2. Move the scales around. Imagine that you are currently experiencing a range of emotions and close your eyes and envision them. Feel the wrath and irritation that you are experiencing. but now mentally move that slider toward the position of joy or serenity. The physical sense of your energy changing is something you should concentrate on as you do this because it is happening. Third, proceed. Fear can be transformed into power. Imagine for a moment that you are anxious about a forthcoming challenge. Rather than viewing that fear as something that needs to be conquered, you should recognize that it is the same energy as excitement, just at a lesser frequency or intensity. This fear should be actively transformed into anticipation. The dread that you are experiencing is not being overcome. Rather, it is being transformed into a more advanced form of the same force. Step 4. Reverse the unfavorable circumstances. By applying the idea of polarity and asking yourself, what is the hidden potential here? When something in your life appears to be a failure, a loss, or a barrier, you can change your perspective. You should train yourself to immediately alter your perspective and unlock the other side of that predicament, which is where your power is located. If you are able to understand this principle, you will have a power that is so potent that it can feel practically magical. You will stop responding to the universe as if you were a victim of circumstance and begin to transform reality as if you were an aware, mindful creator. You are now entering the real world, one in which you are no longer at the mercy of the dualities that you have been trained to fear. You are now in possession of the ability to change the world around you. You should get ready to have your intellect magnified. Imagine that all you thought you knew about your emotional state, your intellect, and the cosmos is just the beginning of what you actually know. In addition to the stars and planets, there is a hidden force that powers not only your thoughts and feelings, but also everything else in the universe. And it is more wonderful than you could possibly conceive. We are pleased to introduce you to the Hermetic principle of rhythm, an age-old concept that sheds light on a reality that we have frequently ignored. Your thoughts and feelings, like everything else in the universe, move in cycles that can be predicted. Although you might believe that your highs and lows are arbitrary, this is not the case. Gaining an understanding of this rhythm is essential to gaining control over your world. Consider the universe to be a massive metronome that maintains time through cycles that are not visible to the human eye. The moon rotates through its phases, the sun rises and sets, and the seasons change continuously. Now, however, comes the most interesting portion. In the same way that these celestial things follow rhythmic patterns, so do your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Is it nerves or exhilaration that you are experiencing? This is not something that occurred at random. It is a component of a cycle of energy that you are participating in. You have the option of either facing it head-on or learning to ride it like a heavenly wave in order to create the life you want for yourself. What follows is the game changer. When it comes to predicting your own emotional moods and energy patterns, the notion of rhythm can be of great assistance. There is more to this than just everyday mood fluctuations. Your personal development, your relationships, and your achievements all move through these cycles that are concealed from view. You will have an advantage that no one else does if you are able to comprehend them. This is like having a hidden map that shows you every high point and down point in your life. These rhythms are so powerful that even big world events, stock markets, and entire civilizations rise and fall according to them. This cycle is so powerful that it even affects this. It was established by economists such as Nikolai Kondratiev that economies around the world move in long-wave cycles of boom and bust as they move. In ways that others are unable to even fathom, traders who are able to tap into these underlying rhythms are able to control the markets. What if you were able to apply this same idea to any aspect of your life, including your relationships, your finances, and your success? Take a closer look at your own personal experience. Have you observed how your energy levels fluctuate, first rising and then falling? What causes waves of motivation to come and go only to crash? This does not constitute a defect or a lack of self-control. The natural rhythm of your energy field is influenced by a wide variety of factors, ranging from the ebbs and flows of your subconscious mind to the divine forces that are at work in the universe. However, now comes the most thrilling part. You are able to master this rhythm. You are able to ride it, making use of your highs for breakthroughs and your lows for introspection and development opportunities. Ancient people had the belief that everything moves in accordance with rhythm, and that nothing is immune to the divine dance that is taking place. The movement of galaxies and your thoughts are both under the control of this universal force which governs everything. Learning to master rhythm allows you to do more than merely ride the waves of life. Through your conscious participation in the flow of life itself, you are becoming a co-creator. You are operating in harmony with the same energies that are responsible for the creation and destruction of worlds. Therefore, how can you put this secret information to use in order to create the life that you want? The following are some actionable steps that you can begin right away. Step 1. Create a map of your own beat. Tracking your mental, emotional, and physical energy for a week is something you should do. This will cause you to recognize patterns. With the help of these rhythms, you may organize activities that correspond with periods when you are most creative or focused. You are no longer struggling against the biological makeup of your body. It is being ridden by you. Step 2. Enjoy the waves of the divine. When it comes to everything, apply this principle. Whether you are experiencing a difficult period emotionally or financially, you should be aware that this is merely a part of a broader cycle and that an improvement is on the horizon. Get yourself ready for it. When you reach your highest point, you should push ahead with all of your strength. Third, proceed. Make sure to synchronize with larger cycles. Pay attention to the patterns that occur in broader forces, such as the economy events that occur throughout the world or patterns in the heavens. These rhythms have a greater impact on you than you may realize. If your behaviors are in line with them, you will discover a road to achievement that is less difficult and more natural. But this is where things start to drastically alter your life. The more you align yourself with these rhythms, the more you will become aware of the fact that you are inextricably linked to the very fabric of the universe. The universe and your thoughts are not distinct from one another. Their movements are in sync with it. Not only does the process of manifestation become conceivable, but it also becomes unavoidable once you learn to synchronize your inner rhythm with the broader flow of the universe. You give up your resistance to reality and instead manipulate it to conform to your desires. The way you perceive the world around you is about to undergo a major transformation. Everything that you believed you knew about the world is about to be completely transformed by the hermetic principle of cause and effect. You have caused ripples that are still unfolding in ways that you cannot even begin to understand. And every choice you have made, even the slightest decision, has caused these ripples. What is the truth? Without ever being aware of it, you have been directing the course of your own destiny the entire while. And what is the most exciting part? Upon mastering this law, you will be able to bring into existence a world that is beyond your wildest expectations. Put all of the things you've heard about luck and randomness out of your mind. As per the theory of cause and effect, every single action, thought, and purpose contributes to the formation of a ripple that influences not only your own life, but also the collective reality. It is not simply philosophy that this is. This is a potent instrument for bringing about personal transformation. Imagine that your ideas are blueprints and that they are sending vibrations out into the cosmos, which then come back to you in the form of people, events, and interactions. Nevertheless, here is the enormous truth. You are not merely experiencing ephemeral sentiments when you have negative thoughts about your abilities or income. To put barriers in motion, they are the first domino in a chain reaction that sets things in motion. This traditional wisdom is starting to be validated by some modern scientific research. In chaos theory, the butterfly effect illustrates how seemingly insignificant changes can result in a wide range of consequences, much to how a slight breeze can have a significant impact. Change the patterns of the weather, and the way you think can have an effect on the way your life unfolds. The results of studies that were published in Chaos show that even relatively slight changes can have a significant impact on climate projections. Considering how readily nature can be influenced, just think of the power that your thoughts have. What you do is not the only thing that determines the world you live in. The same is true for your beliefs and intentions. Your mental state is reflected in the quantum field, which then brings your energy into alignment with the physical landscape. With every thought you have and every choice you make, you generate a frequency that attracts outcomes that are congruent with that frequency. In a fundamental sense, your thoughts are the architects of your future success. This is the truth that will empower you. You're not completely helpless. Individuals possess free will, which enables them to select how they will react to any given circumstance. The responses you give rise to new causes, which in turn produce new waves that determine your future. With each and every thought, deed, and purpose that you have, you are creating your own destiny. Imagine that every choice you make in your life is a way in which the past is connected to the future in ways that you are not yet aware of. Not only does the concept of cause and effect apply to individuals, but it also applies to groups. Whole civilizations, economies, and even events on a global scale are governed by it. The rise and fall of civilizations, collapses in the market, and revolutions are all the consequence of combined causes that have been set in motion over the course of time. At various points in time throughout history, influential groups have recognized the significance of controlling causes behind the scenes in order to exert influence over outcomes on a wide scale. The question now is, how can you put this information to use and become the director of your own life? To begin hacking your reality, this is how you may get started. Step 1. With a mindful intention. Ask yourself, what is it that I want to create today? First thing in the morning. Establish your goals and make sure that your ideas and actions are in line with them. The energy that you send out will come back to you multiplied. Step 2. Do away with the chain. Learn to recognize and change patterns of negative thinking. Make a conscious effort to shift your thoughts away from worry and uncertainty and toward positivity. This stops the domino effect of negativity from taking over your life and causing you to feel helpless. Third, proceed. Imagine new realities in your mind. You should think of your mind as a powerful projector. Imagine that you have already accomplished your objectives and experience the feelings that come along with that. Through this alignment, a direct order is transmitted to the quantum field, which in turn attracts your wishes. Step 4. Be familiar with the echo. Recognize that the circumstances that exist today are the result of events that occurred in the past. Make a change in how you react to unfavorable occurrences by acknowledging that they are merely reverberations of your earlier acts or beliefs. In addition, channel your energies toward working toward positive change. Always and in every instant, you are a creator. Your ability to consciously influence the matrix of your reality is directly proportional to your level of understanding and application of the principle of cause and effect. You are no longer a bystander. Rather, you have transformed into a conscious creator, directing the course of your life with every thought, belief, and action you take. Your own question. As of today, what kind of ripple are you creating? Your ideas and deeds are tremendous forces that impact not just the reality you experience, but also the energy that the universe as a whole is composed of. Are you prepared to take charge and to create the life that you want for yourself? In preparation for a revelation that will shatter the very base of your thinking, you should get ready. There is a secret of influencing reality itself that is contained within the Emerald Tablet, which is frequently disregarded as an archaic curiosity. This is not merely a simple philosophical concept. It is a blueprint for change that has been concealed for millennia in order to prevent its highly potent potential from being made available to the general public. Take into consideration a stone that is as green as the depths of the universe and is engraved with mysterious symbols and instructions. Since ancient times, the Emerald Tablet, which is said to have been created by the mysterious figure Hermes Trismegistus, has attracted the attention of philosophers, mystics, and alchemists. Nevertheless, this is not a typical artifact. It is believed to be the key to unlocking the secrets of the cosmos, providing a view into the fabric of reality to an extent that has never been seen before. Every single line of the Emerald Tablet contains a heavenly puzzle that contains multiple truths about existence. The text of the Emerald Tablet is symbolic. Put whatever you thought you knew out of your mind. Here is a roadmap to conquering the powers of creation that are hidden from view. There is a mystery one item that is mentioned in the Emerald Tablet. This singular power is said to be the source of all creation. Simply said, you can think of it as the quantum field, which is the fundamental energy matrix that links all matter and consciousness together. This was something that Hermes Trismegistus understood long before modern science was able to articulate it fully. The one thing is the very essence of reality, and the key to shaping your environment is to master the flow of that one thing. The Ouroboros, which is a serpent that consumes its own tail, is a symbol of the never-ending cycle of creation and destruction, which is a process that is reflected in nature, in physics, and in your own existence. If you have ever experienced the sensation of being trapped in cycles that are repeating it, is because you have not fully tapped into the possibility for renewal and progress. Your ability to transcend beyond stagnation and embrace continual growth is directly correlated to your ability to understand this inner rhythm. One of the most surprising aspects is that the teachings contained in the Emerald Tablet are not relics of the past. Rather, they are more pertinent than they have ever been before. Quantum entanglement, the observer effect, and the malleability of time are all examples that demonstrate how awareness interacts with reality on the most fundamental level. This is something that the tablet has been teaching for millennia. When the tablet uses the phrase, "as above, so below," it represents more than just a metaphor. This divine mirroring is demonstrated by the intrinsic fractal nature of the world, which includes everything from the spirals of galaxies to the structure of your DNA. The activities that take place on the most extensive scales are mirrored at the smallest scales and vice versa. Through the resonance of your ideas, feelings, and actions, with the same cosmic patterns, you are able to establish a harmonic link between your inner world and the surrounding universe. It is revealed by the Emerald Tablet that resonance is the key to unlocking the possibility of reality. The ideas and feelings that you experience vibrate at their own frequency, just like everything else. Your ability to bring the events you want into your life can be enhanced by bringing your internal state into alignment with the vibrational frequency of what you want. One way to think of it is as the law of attraction taken to an extreme, having its origins in ancient knowledge and being supported by quantum physics today. Upon gaining an understanding of this principle, you will transition from being a receptive observer to being an active participant in the creation of your own world. You are no longer required to sit around and wait for life to happen to you. In order to build life according to your own terms, it is about harnessing global resonance. The information contained in the Emerald Tablet was kept hidden because individuals in positions of authority were aware that if people were to become aware of their actual potential control mechanisms, would be destroyed. The tablet imparts the knowledge that the universe is mind-based and that it is formed by the minds of both individuals and the collective. Take into consideration a world in which everyone was aware that their thoughts and beliefs actively contribute to the formation of the cosmos. The entirety of the control system would come crashing down. In this moment, the time has arrived for this long-lost and banned information to make a comeback. The truths that were once concealed are now being exposed, and the Emerald Tablet is the key that will open the potential that is truly boundless. Here are the measures that you need to take right away to unlock your reality. Step 1. Relaxation through resonance. At the beginning of each day, put your energy into alignment with the vibratory state of the things you want. Imagine that your reality has already been brought into existence and allow you to be filled with sentiments of thankfulness, joy, and excitement. Pay attention to the frequency of the result you want to achieve. Step 2. How to decipher the puzzle of as above, so below. Keep in mind that every single thought and deed has repercussions throughout the entire cosmos. When you make changes to your internal world, the external world will inevitably follow. Change the way you talk to yourself inside. Self-doubt should be replaced with confidence. Fear should be replaced with curiosity, and resistance should be replaced with flow. Third, proceed. Acquire a command of the cycle of creativity and destruction. In accordance with the teachings of the Ouroboros, every conclusion is the germ of a fresh starter. Whenever you are confronted with difficulties, try to look at them as opportunities for growth and development. Embrace the cycle, let go of your fear of destruction, and open yourself up to becoming. When it comes to rewriting the fabric of your reality, are you prepared to access the entire power of the universe? It is up to you to decide. Get ready to be confronted with a reality that is so profound that it has been lying in plain sight for more than 2,000 years. Despite the fact that the Bhagavad Gita has been respected as a sacred scripture for millennia, the majority of people barely scratch the surface of what it actually teaches. We are going to delve further into it today and reveal its hidden mysteries, which have the potential to impact your life in ways that you could never have imagined. The Bhagavad Gita is the first question to ask. It is a Hindu scripture that dates back 2,000 years and is included in the vast Mahabharata, which is an ancient Indian epic. It is a discourse between a warrior prince named Arjuna and the divinity Krishna, who acts as his guide. This exchange is known as the Gita. Arjuna is set to engage in a fight of epic proportions, but he is unable to move because of his uncertainty, dread, and confusion. He has no desire to start a fight. Therefore, Krishna intervenes and reveals profound spiritual truths that extend beyond the confines of the battlefield. This piece of writing is not only about battle, it is also about existence purpose and the fundamental thing that makes reality what it is. So this is where things start to get interesting. The majority of people consider the Gita to be a moral or ethical guide, but it is actually much more than that. It is a heavenly guide to harnessing the energy that are present throughout the universe. Its verses contain the keys that will allow you to unlock the power that is within your ideas, intentions, and actions. There is power that you can utilize to mold your own world. A handful of the most important lessons from the Gita will be discussed here. Initially, the Dharma. This is not only about your responsibilities or your goals, rather it is a much more profound idea. The term Dharma refers to the divine law that upholds the order of the cosmos, and your particular Dharma is the function that you play within that order. Your Dharma will continue to develop. It is malleable and shifts depending on the circumstances and the passage of time. Through the process of tuning into your Dharma, you align yourself with the flow of the cosmos, so getting access to energy and knowledge that can help you navigate the most difficult problems that life has to offer. It is not enough to simply survive, one must also thrive. This brings us to Karma Yoga. Acting without being attached to the result is the practice that is being referred to here. In contrast to the current society, which is always telling us to concentrate on results, the Gita challenges that notion. According to the teachings of Karma Yoga, true mastery is achieved by concentrating on the action itself, on the momentum that is occurring in the present now, without thinking about whether or not you will be successful. By doing this, you transform into a conduit for greater energy, allowing you to function with precision and clarity, free from fear and egoistic tendencies. Why, therefore, has this been kept a secret? Why is it that people don't discuss the true power that the Gita possesses? The reason for this is that information is power, and power that is held by a large number of people poses a danger to those who control the established structures of society, politics, and religion. The entire system of control would be thrown into disarray if everyone realized that they have the power to influence the world around them. Beyond the realm of religion, the Gita contains wisdom. It is a manual for making oneself more independent. Karma, also known as the law of cause and effect, is explained in the Gita, along with how it operates in harmony with the universe. There are ripples that are created by every action, thought, and intention, and they come back to you. After aligning yourself with divine law through actions that are performed with intention and without attachment to the outcomes, the universe will respond by providing you with opportunity, growth, and abundance. This is the most exciting part. You are able to begin utilizing these teachings right away in order to change your reality. Step 1. Figure out what your genuine Dharma is. Put an end to asking, "What is my purpose?" as well as begin by asking, "What kind of energy is the world in need of from me at this very moment?" You will experience a level of growth, clarity, and creativity that you have never experienced before if you tune into the requirements of the present. Step 2. Maintain a detached action, also known as Karma Yoga. Whether you are making a significant choice or performing routine duties, it is important to concentrate on the process rather than the outcome. When you let go of the fear of failing, you will notice that your productivity skyrockets. Third, proceed. Reflect and engage in unselfish service. In order to better connect yourself with the energy flow of the cosmos, it is important to participate in acts of selflessness and to eliminate ego. Because of this, doors that lead to prosperity and fulfillment beyond your wildest dreams are open. This work, known as the Bhagavad Gita, is more than just a religious or philosophical text. Rather, it provides a roadmap to manifesting your ultimate reality. You will not only be able to liberate yourself from fear if you are able to master Dharma, karma, and detached action, but you will also be able to align yourself with the most fundamental laws of creation in the universe. This long-forgotten information has been kept quiet for an excessively long time. Right now, it is time for you to take control of your situation. Just for a moment, try to picture yourself discovering a truth that completely contradicts all you thought you understood about productivity. Imagine being able to accomplish more with fewer actions, not by means of a contemporary life hack, but by utilizing a principle that has been concealed under the surface for 2,500 years. In this context, efficiency is not the only thing that matters. Rather, it is about connecting with the most profound currents in the universe. The ancient Chinese literature known as the Tao Te Ching contains a radical concept that in today's fast-paced culture may appear to be entirely counterintuitive. Wu Wei, which means effortless action, is the concept. This should not be confused with active inactivity or sloth. Not only is it one of the most powerful energies you can unlock, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. However, the underlying meaning of Wu Wei is much more sophisticated than what is conveyed by its literal translation. It is about moving in concert with the rhythms of the cosmos and acting in a manner that is completely in harmony with the flow of life. When you let the natural currents of the universe to flow you easily toward your goals, rather than trying to force outcomes or fighting against barriers, you become more successful. Things are about to take a turn for the incredible. The ancient sages were right all along, and modern neuroscience and flow psychology are starting to provide evidence to support their claims. Flow states, also known as those moments when you are in the zone, have been the subject of research. This research has shown that we are at our most productive, creative, and fulfilled when our activities are in easy alignment with our surroundings, just as Wu Wei explains. This flow is something that may be harnessed through Wu Wei not by exerting control over the circumstances, but rather by allowing the energy of the universe to flow through you. According to the Tao Te Ching, resistance is an unnatural phenomenon. And by resisting, you are preventing the very forces that may carry you to success without requiring you to exert any effort. Give it some thought. On how many occasions have you been unable to find a solution to an issue only to discover that the answer came to you after you finally stopped trying to force it? That is not a happenstance at all. When Wu Wei is in action, that is. In other words, there is no friction. When attempting to elucidate this principle, the Tao Te Ching makes reference to nature. Take a look at a river that is slowly but definitely etching its way through rock over the course of time. Instead of attempting to overcome the boulder, the river just flows around it, taking the course that offers the least amount of resistance. Over the course of millennia, it creates formidable canyons without putting any burden on itself. The way in which trees grow smoothly toward the sun, or the way in which planets travel in perfect harmony with one another, is a good example of this. When you live your life in accordance with Wu Wei, you become like a river or a tree flowing in a natural direction toward your objectives without experiencing any stress or strain. This is the startling turn of events. Not only does less work generate the same outcomes, but it possesses the potential to produce much better results. Because forcing action throws you out of sync with the natural rhythms of life, persistently pushing and striving may actually prevent you from achieving the outcomes you wish. Imagine for a moment that you had the ability to tap into this divine flow and allow the circumstances to organically align favorable to you. What Wu Wei provides is just that. To understand this, one must first acknowledge that the cosmos is already aware of what it is doing. In addition, once you no longer resist it, things begin to fall into place with greater ease than you could possibly think. I will explain how you can immediately begin putting this theory into practice. Step 1. Put an end to imposing solutions. Stop attempting to force your way through a difficult situation the next time you are confronted with one. Take a break. Move back a little bit. It is important to make room for the appropriate path to become apparent. Step 2. Be in tune with the rhythms of nature. Begin to pay attention to the natural rhythms that occur in your own life to begin with. During what times do you feel the most creative and energetic? Plan your most critical chores to get completed during these peak moments, then take a break when your energy comes down. Third, proceed. Do not hold on to control. Maintain in mind that control is an illusion. You will cause greater disruption to the flow of things the more tightly you hang on. You should have faith that you are not giving up on your objectives when you let go. When you connect yourself with the plan of the universe, it will assist you in accomplishing your goals more efficiently. Step 4. Be guided by your gut instinct. Deep faith in your own inner knowledge is something that Wu Wei advocates. When you are confronted with decisions, ask yourself what feels like it should be easy. What is the next step that must be taken? Intuition is often able to notice things that the mind is unable to see. Just for a moment, try to picture yourself in a situation where your actions appear to be effortless, yet they also yield spectacular outcomes. It is the power that Wu Wei possesses. In a society that is overworked and overstressed, it is the antidote that offers a method to accomplish more with less strain. Through the process of aligning yourself with the flow of the cosmos, you are able to access a degree of power and creativity that could never be achieved through the use of force. The application of this principle is not merely theoretical, rather it is immediate, transforming, and practical. From your productivity to the quality of your relationships, to the actualization of your most profound aspirations, it has the potential to transform everything. Therefore, are you prepared to put an end to your struggle and begin flowing, mainly due to the fact that after you have mastered the skill of Wu Wei, you will find out that the universe has been waiting all along to assist you in doing something that was previously thought to be impossible. Despite the fact that Wu Wei instructs us to flow with the universe, there is an even more profound truth that is already waiting to be discovered. If you are not only a component of the cosmos, but the universe itself, what would that mean? It is not just philosophy that supports this mind-bending concept. Rather, it is supported by cutting-edge science as well as ancient knowledge. When it comes to manifestation and personal power, the ramifications are really startling. There is a spiritual principle known as the Law of One that contradicts all you believed you knew about the concept of reality. This teaching states at its foundation that everything in the cosmos, from the tiniest atom to the greatest galaxy, is essentially interrelated and a part of a single unified consciousness. Everything in the universe is a component of this consciousness. This is not just some New Age idea. Rather, it is a viewpoint that is gaining traction in scientific circles, and it is supported by ideas in quantum physics and studies of consciousness. Just for a second, try to picture yourself not as a solitary person, but rather as a singular manifestation of the entire universe. Every single idea that you have and every single action that you take has repercussions that touch the entirety of creation. As a result, the entirety of the cosmos is continuously exerting its influence and providing support to you. Your approach to manifestation and personal development may undergo a significant transformation as a result of this revelation. According to the Law of One, reality is seen as a projection of consciousness, which is a concept that is in agreement with the Hermetic principle that states that everything is thought. When you have a complete comprehension of this, you will come to the realization that altering your reality does not include coercing external circumstances to conform to your desires. Achieving this alignment involves bringing your particular consciousness into alignment with the broader divine mind. This newfound understanding of togetherness has significant repercussions for the way in which we engage with other people and the world that surrounds us. If we are all manifestations of the same unified field, then causing injury to other people is in the end equivalent to causing pain to ourselves. On the other hand, actions of love and kindness have a ripple effect that positively impacts the entire universe. This comprehension naturally results in a manner of life that is more compassionate and harmonious. To what extent, however, are you able to access this unified field of consciousness? Meditation is a powerful strategy that can be accomplished. Imagine that you are a drop of water that is blending with an infinite ocean. Close your eyes and envision this transition. As you establish a connection with the great expanse of global consciousness, you will experience a dissolution of your sense of separation. It is possible that you will begin to feel major alterations in your perception and your ability to bring your desires into manifestation as you continue to do this on a regular basis. In addition to this, the Law of One provides a fresh viewpoint on aspects of personal development and growth. It is possible to perceive challenges not as challenges that need to be conquered, but rather as chances for the universe, which includes you to gain a deeper understanding of and familiarity with itself. In the divine dance of self-discovery, Every experience, regardless of whether it is regarded as favorable or negative, functions as a component. In addition to having an impact on your own life, this shift in consciousness has the ability to bring about a transformation in the entire international community. Just for a moment, try to picture a society in which individuals genuinely knew how interrelated they are. We would naturally work toward the good of the whole, rather than just individual gain, which would lead to a reduction in conflict, an increase in collaboration, and a flourishing of cooperation. Through the practice of the law of one, you are able to access a united field of consciousness, which in turn enables you to effortlessly bring about the manifestation of your wishes. You are able to create the life you want by aligning your mind with the cosmos, which means you are able to harness the same energy that creates galaxies and stars. Are you prepared to accept the fact that there is only one law and to liberate the power of unified consciousness? Through the cultivation of this profound awareness, one can bring into existence a life that is abundant, harmonious, and purposeful. Your canvas is the entire cosmos. Use the colors of your mind to paint the background of your reality. Imagine there is a secret gospel that depicts Jesus in a far different light, one in which he is not only a spiritual leader, but also a master of divine energy, instructing his students on how to harness the very forces that exist in the cosmos. The Essene Gospels, which are ancient manuscripts that have been purposefully withheld from mainstream Christianity, are the source of this surprising revelation. Perhaps this is due to the fact that the contents of these texts were both too powerful and too transforming for ordinary believers. In contrast to the traditional depiction of Jesus, the Essene Gospels give the impression that the teachings of Christ were not merely moral or spiritual, rather they were divine in their core. In these works, Jesus is said to have instructed his disciples on how to exercise control and direction over energy, which includes everything from the living air to the life force that flows through the body. This information is very similar to contemporary energy healing treatments, such as Reiki breathwork and even quantum healing, which were centuries ahead of their time. One of the most stunning facts is that Jesus is said to have instructed his followers on how to control solar energy for the purpose of healing and purification. The procedures that he allegedly taught them sound strikingly similar to modern solar rituals and energy-based cleansing practices. It is said that he gave his disciples instructions to cleanse oneself with water and sun, not just as symbolic rites, but also as means for adjusting their energy fields to higher frequencies. Is it possible that the miracles that are reported in the Bible are not just examples of supernatural interventions, but also demonstrations of advanced energy manipulation? According to the Essene Gospels, Jesus was skilled in activities that enabled him to transform reality. These practices included the use of subtle energies, the curing of sicknesses, the calming of storms, and even the rising of the dead. These practices were not miracles, but rather applications of divine energy principles. According to these Gospels, the instruction that Jesus gave to think that you have got something and that it will be yours is very similar to the tactics that are used in modern manifestation. A concept that resonates with the law of attraction is that this is not merely a metaphor. Rather, it suggests that there is a genuine energy-based process that is responsible for altering reality. He was able to cure not only because of divine power, but also because of his mastery over energy fields, which is something that we have only just begun to scrape the surface of today. The question is, why were these Gospels not included in the Bible? There are a variety of theories ranging from the worry that they could provide individuals with the ability to empower themselves to the anxiety that they could break the control that religious hierarchy maintained over spiritual knowledge. The Essene Gospels had the potential to bring about a major shift in spiritual perception by providing individuals with the ability to gain control over supernatural powers. This would have posed a challenge to the central authorities of organized religion. Even more astonishing is the fact that some people believe these books were concealed because they contained teachings that were more in line with Eastern spiritual practices, particularly those dealing with energy work. These teachings would have been too strange for early Western audiences to comprehend. How does this relate to us in the present day? The potential for energy mastery that is still there can be utilized through the utilization of these old practices. Visualizing heavenly light as a means of energy cleaning is one of the strong methods that are described in these scriptures. Imagine that you are surrounded by a bright healing light that penetrates your body, regenerating your cells and removing all of the negativity that you have been carrying around with you. By performing this exercise on a consistent basis, you may assist restore balance to your energy field, which will allow you to access new levels of personal development. The Essene Gospels cast doubt on the traditional borders that have been established between various religious and spiritual practices. According to these interpretations, Jesus, like many other ancient teachers, had an understanding of a global truth, which is a truth that is independent of cultural and theological distinctions. His teachings, which are closely tied to nature and divine powers, are reminiscent of ancient Eastern rituals, as well as contemporary scientific notions, such as quantum mechanics and energy fields. Not just as a moral guide, but also as a teacher of the energetic laws of the cosmos, these revelations, if they are real, offer a fundamental reassessment of the mission that Jesus was sent to accomplish with his divine mission. This wisdom from the past could. There is a possibility that the Essene Gospels contain a truth that is so substantial and transformative that it was concealed from the rest of the world for thousands of years. Now that we have rediscovered these lessons, we have the opportunity to connect with the exact same energies that shape the cosmos, and in doing so, we may transform our own reality. Are you prepared to discover the mysteries of the universe, to accept the concealed teachings of Jesus that are found in the Essene Gospels, and to experience a transformation in your spiritual journey that you have never experienced before? What if a Tibetan literature that had been lost for a very long time contained the ultimate secret to navigating not only the complexities of existence, but also the secrets of death itself? What would happen if this ancient knowledge could unleash the potential to consciously shape your existence after you have passed away? The Tibetan Book of the Dead, also known as Bardo Thodol, is more than just a guide to the hereafter on a mystical level. Our perspective of life and death is called into question by the horrific facts that are contained inside it. As a matter of fact, the modern scientific community is just now beginning to validate this ancient document. Is it at all possible that it may teach you how to alter your consciousness, both before and after you pass away? According to Tibetan tradition, the Tibetan Book of the Dead is considered to be a guide for the trip that the spirit takes after death. Let me tell you the shocking reality, however. There is more to it than merely the afterlife. Its teachings provide a roadmap for navigating our most deep mental experiences, and they serve as a pattern for mastering consciousness in everyday life. Not only does the word bardo allude to states that are transitional between both life and death, but it also relates to the mental transitions that we go through on a daily basis. The title of the book, Bardo Thodol, literally translates to liberation through hearing in the intermediate state. This interpretation implies that if we are able to properly comprehend our awareness, we will be able to free ourselves from the shackles of confusion and bind. Recent studies on near-death experiences, often known as NDEs, have begun to validate a significant number of the teachings included within the Tibetan Book of the Dead. People who have had near-death experiences, NDEs, frequently talk about leaving their bodies, seeing dazzling lights, and having vivid life reviews. These are all events that are considered to be similar to the levels of awareness that are described in this ancient text. On the other hand, the Bardo Thodol goes even farther by providing practices that can be used to master these states while one is still alive. This in turn transforms death into a portal to enlightenment rather than a final destination. I present the divine truth to you. According to contemporary conceptions of the capabilities of the mind, the descriptions of the bardos, which are various states of consciousness experienced after death, are consistent with these conceptions. Neurological investigations and research into altered states of consciousness, such as lucid dreaming, are beginning to indicate that the brain may access aspects of awareness that were previously thought to be impossible. Examples of techniques that are similar to modern lucid dreaming practices can be found in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. One example is the recognition of the dreamlike character of reality. It is through the concept of bardo that we learn that life and death are both components of a process that is ongoing and cyclical. Every single emotional state, idea, and reaction is a miniature death, a miniature bardo, that ushers us into new stages of existence at every moment. With this knowledge, we are able to access a hidden power, which is the capacity to move through these phases in a conscious manner. An idea that is revolutionary is presented in the text. Death is nothing more than an extension of life, and life itself is a series of countless tiny deaths. Transitions between various mental and emotional states. Death is merely an extension of life. If you are able to master these transitions in your day-to-day life, you will be able to prepare yourself for the ultimate transition, which is death, which will allow you to approach the hereafter with clarity and purpose. In the same way that lucid dreaming educates you to become aware while you are sleeping, you may train your consciousness to remain aware even when you are in altered states by engaging in techniques such as meditation, dream yoga, and energy visualization. Getting to the point where you are able to navigate every facet of existence, including the afterlife, with complete awareness is not merely about avoiding fear or bewilderment in the afterlife. Rather, it is about becoming the ultimate master of your own mind. The Tibetan gurus have known for millennia that lucid dreaming is a phenomenon that has been confirmed by modern studies. The dream state serves as a playground for the development of awareness. It is possible to learn how to maintain consciousness during the transitions of life and death by being aware while you are dreaming. This will allow you to move through dreams, altered states, and ultimately death itself without any disruptions. The Tibetan Book of the Dead argues that if you are able to maintain your consciousness in a dream, you are also able to maintain your consciousness after death, and this is where the real magic takes place. This is a specific ritual that originates from the Tibetan tradition. Step 1. Imagine your consciousness as a stream of light moving through your body. You should devote a few minutes of your time each day to practicing this visualization. Imagine that the light is undergoing a transformation and progressing through a series of stages, becoming more fluid and expanding until it eventually fuses with the universal energy that is all around you. You are training your consciousness to remain clear and stable during the bardos, whether they occur in life dreams or death. As you become more proficient in this practice, you are training your consciousness to do so. Step 2. Remaining mindful during transitions. Whenever you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the changes that occur in your life, take a moment to pause and acknowledge the fluctuating nature of your mental state. You can prepare yourself for your ultimate liberation by practicing mindfulness of the present moment and recognizing that this too is a form of bardo. By navigating this bardo intentionally, you are readying yourself for your ultimate release. You come to realize that life and death are not polar opposites, but rather are components of the same eternal dance when you accept the teachings that are contained inside the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Each and every transition, whether it be in your feelings, ideas, or experiences, is a step in this dance that enables you to manage them with awareness and intention. Are you prepared to become an expert in the art of navigating consciousness and to accept the unending cycle of life and death? Your ability to modify your reality and access higher planes of existence is directly correlated to your possession of this ancient knowledge. Imagine a supernatural revelation that was so profound that it was purposefully concealed from the majority of the world's religions. Imagine for a moment that a single ancient manuscript is the key to uncovering divine truths that call into question all we know about the cosmos and our role within it. I would like to welcome you to the realm of the Book of Enoch, a document that was so controversial that early religious leaders decided to exclude it from the canon because they believed that its contents were too hazardous for the general public. What mysteries does this ancient literature conceal, and how may it facilitate a transformation in your spiritual journey? Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, is described in the Book of Enoch as having a voyage in which he walked with God and was shown the inner workings of the universe. The Book of Enoch is a written account of this journey. However, these revelations were not like any other. Enoch was transported to heavenly regions where he was instructed by angelic creatures known as the Watchers on the mysteries of the universe. Not alone did these angels convey wisdom, but they also did other things. Certain individuals descended to earth and engaged in interactions with human beings in ways that would ultimately lead to chaos. What if I told you that these Watchers were not merely mythological figures, but that the activities they took have had an impact on the way that human evolution has progressed? The Book of Enoch conducts an in-depth investigation into the characteristics of these angels, including their forbidden contacts with mankind and the divine repercussions from their actions. It is thought that the fallen watchers have shared their knowledge with humanity, including information about the stars' weaponry and even wizardry, so blurring the divide between divine and mortal affairs. The voyage that Enoch took through the heavens, however, is where the real stunner resides. He was not merely a bystander. Rather, he was a student who was involved in the study of divine rules that are comparable to contemporary quantum physics and multidimensional theory. His conception of the universe was that it was a living, breathing organism that was replete with heavenly hierarchies, layers of dimensions and energy forces that shaped our reality. This is not a tale from the distant past. It is a piece of global knowledge that has been lost, and the present scientific community is now starting to understand it. The journey that Enoch takes reveals a reality in which humans are not bystanders, but active participants. Instead, the passage implies that we have the capacity to rise to experience levels of consciousness that are comparable to those of angels, and to get access to planes that are beyond our physical comprehension. Because the contents of the Book of Enoch hint at a profound spiritual progression that has the ability to upset existing power systems, it is possible that this latent potential is the reason why the Book of Enoch was not included in the canon of religious texts. Although the Book of Enoch was venerated by early Christian and Jewish authorities for generations, it was inexplicably erased from religious books. This was due to the fact that it had such a significant impact. How come it is argued by some academics that it constituted a danger to the existing religious beliefs, particularly because it suggested that humans may access divine power via self-awareness and spiritual elevation? Those ideologies that place an emphasis on submission and passivity are in sharp contrast to this perspective. Angelic beings who descended to earth and shared forbidden information with mankind are referred to as the Watchers in the Book of Enoch. This is one of the most contentious aspects of the book. Enoch believed that this knowledge provided humans with the ability to exert control over the natural universe, so influencing the physical reality that we experience. However, it also brought about anarchy. According to the Book of Enoch, human beings are capable of a great deal more than we have been made to believe they are capable of. We are one of the co-creators of reality, and we have the ability to access energies and planes that are concealed from view. The resemblance between this and contemporary notions of energy manipulation and manifestation is suggestive of the possibility that what we refer to as activities of the New Age may in fact be ancient wisdom. Imagining that you have the ability to harness heavenly energy, much like Enoch himself, in order to raise your consciousness and determine your future is fascinating. One can physically modify their perception of reality through the use of powerful manifestation techniques which are alluded to in the text. These techniques involve belief intention and divine alignment. How then can you put these old principles that are outlawed into practice today? There are numerous symbols of energy and light during Enoch's voyage through the heavens, which are activities that are similar to those that are used in contemporary energy healing and spiritual practices. This is a powerful strategy that is taken from the heavenly wisdom that is found in the Book of Enoch. Step 1. The visualization of the heavens. Find a place where there is no noise and close your eyes. Imagine that you are climbing through the layers of the atmosphere and breaking free from the gravitational pull of the Earth. Imagine the stars, planets, and galaxies that are all around you as you begin to see the sun rising. During the process of your consciousness merging with the expanse of space, you should concentrate on the sensation of expansion. Make a request for direction from the heavenly beings that Enoch described, the Watchers or higher angelic entities. You should let the knowledge of the universe to flow through you, and then make use of this elevated state to bring your intentions into manifestation with complete clarity. The lessons included within the Book of Enoch impart the idea that you are more than just a physical person. You have the power to connect with universal forces that are as old as time itself, and you are a divine force that is capable of reaching beyond the stars. It is still the most important question. What were the reasons behind the removal of the Book of Enoch from Scripture? Would the ancient rulers have been able to embrace its message because it was too radical and too empowering? A number of academics are of the opinion that its divine teachings were regarded as potentially harmful due to the fact that they placed the responsibility for spiritual development in the hands of the person rather than the institutions of religious belief. On the other hand, the realities that are disclosed in the Book of Enoch are currently experiencing a revival. These revolutionary teachings of the book are more relevant than they have ever been before, since more and more people are looking for spiritual enlightenment outside of traditional systems. On the other hand, it implies that you are not powerless and that you are not alone in the cosmos. If you are willing to open your mind to the ancient wisdom, you will be able to learn how to navigate the divine dance that you are a part of, which is much wider and more interwoven than you may realize. In addition to providing a view into the skies, the Book of Enoch provides a great deal more. Understanding your place in the cosmos is made easier with the help of this potent and life-changing textbook. Once upon a time, its teachings were seen as being excessively dangerous and empowering. Now, however, as we are re-establishing our connection with our divine origins, this wisdom is once again being accessible to us. Are you prepared to accept the mysteries that have been concealed from the human race for millennia? Unlock the heavenly truths contained within the Book of Enoch and experience a transformation in your spiritual path that you have never experienced before. If I were to tell you that the true power to change your life is not located in the heavens, in ancient scrolls, or in heavenly teachings, but rather in the ordinary moments that you experience in your daily life, what would you say to that? This is a reality that has always been acknowledged by the greatest spiritual masters, but modern searchers sometimes fail to recognize it. During your voyage, you have explored the principles of Hermetic philosophy, Taoism, and even the Bhagavad Gita. It is not the distant philosophies that are the source of the most profound transformation. Rather, it is the manner in which you apply this old wisdom to the seemingly inconsequential events that occur throughout your daily lives. At first glance, the concept that spiritual development can occur in the most mundane of situations may appear to be surprising. Nonetheless, this idea is at the heart of practically every ancient tradition. The Hermetic principle of rhythm, which teaches us that everything ebbs and flows, and the Wu-Wei philosophy of Taoism, which teaches us that effortless action is supreme, are both examples of principles that were always intended to be put into effect in the real world. When we are doing the dishes, going to work, or dealing with the stress of our families, how often do we fail to see the spiritual power that is present? The mysteries of how thoughts can influence reality and how energy may be manipulated through intention and frequency have already been revealed to you. However, what about the Taoist outlook that Wu-Wei possesses? The idea that one can accomplish more by exerting less effort. When you are experiencing times of aggravation, such as when you are stalled in traffic, you have the opportunity to practice Wu-Wei by letting go of resistance and allowing the circumstance to flow as it naturally does. Your route will be simply carved out without any strain if you transform into the river that flows around the rocks. It is not about battling dragons or climbing mountains that constitutes the actual hero's journey. Rather, it is about gaining mastery of the mind. Through confronting your inner reluctance, impatience, or self-doubt in the midst of life's everyday situations, you can achieve this. Dragons like this belong to you. The wise people of the past were aware of this. Your ability to access the ageless wisdom of the centuries and transform the mundane into the magical is facilitated by the fact that you choose to make your daily life your spiritual path. It is recommended that you select one principle, such as Wu-Wei or Dharma, and make an effort to incorporate it into your daily life during this week. Take baby steps. Observe how it causes a change in your world. Next, as you become more at ease with putting this knowledge into practice, you should develop a daily routine that incorporates teachings from a variety of different faiths. Imagine that you begin your day with a quick gratitude practice based on Hermetic teachings, that you ground yourself during the workday with Taoist non-action, and that you end your day with a heart-centered meditation based on ancient mysticism. The combination of these disciplines will bring about a divine harmony in your life, which will simultaneously base you and elevate you to a higher level inside yourself. Always keep in mind that the objective is growth, not perfection. Reading old literature or gaining knowledge of esoteric secrets will not bring about the transformation that is truly necessary. Weaving these ideas into the fabric of your daily existence and enabling them to transform your vision of the world and your place within it is the means by which you will do this. The revelations of the divine that you have found were never intended to be concealed in the heavens. It was intended for them to help you become more in tune with the here and now, so assisting you in taking control of your reality, one monotonous activity at a time. The greatest spiritual secret is this: when you learn to transcend the ordinary, you unlock the extraordinary. Hidden within your daily life is a quiet kind of magic waiting to be seen, felt, and used. And now your journey truly begins. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You now hold the key, an ancient power once reserved for mystics, sages, and seekers across time. This isn't just knowledge, it's a living tool of transformation. So the question is, what will you do with it? Will you manifest the abundance you've longed for, heal what's been broken in your relationships, or maybe you'll help awaken harmony on a global scale? The possibilities are limitless. The choice is yours. But with great power comes deep responsibility. These teachings aren't just about changing your life. They ripple outward, touching everyone around you. You're stepping into the sacred role of conscious creator. Every thought, every intention, every action you take now feeds not only your reality, but the energetic field of the universe itself. Are you ready to claim that role? If so, don't wait. Step into your true power today. And if this message resonates with you, join us. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. You are not alone on this path. We're building a community of awakened creators, and this is just the beginning. The universe is listening,